Hey peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service. Your fishing report for this week. Today is going to, let's see, I'm not going to give you the date that I'm filming this. Let's just call it, I believe, weekending February 8th or 9th. I don't know. It'll show up when I edit it and put it up on the deal. So this is the first and only time I'm going to be able to get out this week. My commitment to all you folks is I'm not going to do these cold turkey. If at all possible, I'm at least going to get out one day during the week and give you guys and ladies, some fresh information. So water temperature, 40, it's running in the 49. 49 just before I started the video, 49.8. So started out this morning over at the county park, a little bit mid 48s, so it's kind of fluctuating a little bit. I should tell you, most of the information I give you today is going to be based on what's my understanding of what's going on the upper end of the lake. Water clarity actually looks pretty good. You know, we haven't had any significant rain. Now, there was a pretty big wind event this last weekend, and I saw some video down by the Clear Lake Oaks launch ramp, and that water looked like it was a mess. I do not know how it cleaned up during the course of this week, so I can only speak to where I've been. And this end, we've got visibility about 3.5 feet, which to me, pretty good. So you got the water temperature is held, water clarity is held, water level I checked and it was at 4.5. So it's kind of holding. It's gradually been going up, but you're talking about 1.5 inches a week, so it's nothing to talk about there. The only significant event there was if you look at the chart for the USGS, which shows the actual day-to-day data for the Rumsey gauge up here, the measurement. Sunday, the day the wind was blowing that way, the Lakeport end of the lake went down about 2.5 inches during that day, so it sucked a lot of water out of this end. Some of you that wonder where the current comes from, that's where it's coming from. So we got water clarity, we've got temperature. Let's talk about what I've done today. I pretty much have been living down below the Narrows and down below, and I have to tell you that the last video report I put out, I may have sounded like I was whining and sniveling, and I kind of gave it a tough day report, and it was a tough day that day, but there were places I didn't fish, and when I had a couple the following day, they put together a pretty good limit. It had almost 22 pounds. We didn't catch a lot of fish. They had 9 bites, but it was a good solid bunch of fish. So I wasn't pulling any fast ones. That was just the way it was reporting what I did. And compared to how the bite was, actually to get 9 bites really was an okay day. What made up for it was just the fish were, you know, a nice average size, really good solid fish. So decided to get back up on this end of the lake, which is the upper end of the lake today. I've only been out for fishing for about 2.5 hours, maybe 2 3/4 hours. That's fishing, because I spent about the first 45 minutes just idling around in some areas, just looking with my side finder, just trying to see if I could locate something significant. This is the first time I fished up on this end of the lake in at least 2.5 months. So I'm not going to go into details exactly where I fished, and I'm going to give you a spoiler report right now. Any of you folks who are fishing the WWBT, this is going to be posted within your off limits. So at this point, I guess I need to remind you, you're not supposed to be getting any information from anybody. Sorry about that, and I don't do this for you folks, I do it for clients. So, but good luck to all of you if you're signing off right now. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's it. Okay, so I fished the upper end of the lake. Totally different presentation of how I fish. There's definitely a pattern that I was able to figure out pretty quickly. It was, I've told you folks before, a lot of times when I'm out checking new water or looking for a new bite, a lot of times I'm just way too early and it's a pretty painful process. It was not painful today. I've had a ball. I've caught 28 fish in 2.5 hours and no giants, but just some really, really nice fish. So the weather that has been hanging out for a week and a half now, these sunny, warm afternoons, relatively calm days, with the exception of this morning and yesterday morning, relatively warmer mornings. There's shallow fish. So didn't catch them the way I'd been catching them. So right now I can tell you, on this end of the lake, there's definitely shallow fish. Below the narrows, there's still deep fish. So I put a couple of these fish in the live well just to show you so you have an idea what kind of fish, and it's basically because I've only caught them within the last half an hour or so. So if a picture is worth 1,000 words, I'm going to show you these guys, and then I'll put them back where I caught them when I'm done. There's one of them. Just really, really good, solid fish. And there's another one. There's a third one in there, but I'm not going to put it through the nonsense of taking it out. So there you go. Caleb, those are for you. While I'm talking about this water temperature is cold enough. Run the aerator a lot. Fish came out of shallow water. Real easy to take care of these fish and put them back in good shape. I've seen some videos the last week and a half where people are fishing down deep with Alabama rigs for the most part. They're catching fish in 20 to 25, 30 feet of water. They catch a fish, which is great. They go to put it in the live well, and as soon as you lift the lid, what you see is a bunch of fish upside down. It's not good for the fish. It'll kill them if you don't know how to take care of them. If you guys are going to put these deep fish in live wells, please learn how to fizz them correctly and do it. Fizz them, then you can hang on to them in the live well and they'll make it. But if you don't know how to do it, study up on it if you're going to keep doing it, because you leave these fish upside down in these live wells, even with this water temperature, for an hour, chances are really good they're not going to make it. Those really fat bellies that you see coming out of these deep water fish, that's not all food, that's their air bladder. That's why they fight real hard for about the first 2/3 of the fight, and the last third, they're just kind of gasping for air and kind of come in. So, all right, I covered what I wanted to cover. I guess what I would ask you to do, those of you who are thinking about coming and fishing with me, you might look at the open dates this month because the fishing is very, very fun. Now, granted, I'm fishing on a day today when there's no off, or where there's an off limits, and I've only seen one other boat out here today, so we're just having a ball by ourselves. But you might look at some of the February open dates that are coming up, and either send me a text message or an email, get in touch with me, because there's going to be some fun days ahead. I'm looking at the long-range weather forecast, and I don't see anything significant happening, in the next 2 weeks, at least through the 15 days. So events coming up, well, I already talked about it a little bit, but the only event that I really know of this next weekend is the WWBT, the Wild West Bass Trail, and it is a team event. Not sure where it's going out of. It'll be Saturday. I expect it to be a big event. I expect it to be busy. The only other thing I didn't touch on was crappie, and I just haven't run into anybody who's fishing for them. I've seen some. Today I saw some in some of the tule beds around the lake, the upper end that I got into. I could see pretty good sized schools of them, but honestly I have not seen nor talked to anybody who is fishing for them. And please don't send me messages asking for where the crappie are, because I'm not going to tell you. I've already told a couple of you, so just trying to get general information out, so hopefully you guys and gals can decide whether you want to make a trip up here, whether it's worth your while or not. I think the fishing right now, based on what I saw today, is pretty doggone fun, so you might want to think about getting up here. If not by the end of this month, definitely into March, because these are some healthy fish. Didn't catch a giant. I don't have a single one of them over 5 pounds, but I've got 3 of them that are 4 3/4, and that's pretty close. They look like 5-pounders. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Keep the messages coming. Sorry I didn't run into any of you out here this week, but you're probably all working, which is a good thing. We'll see ya. I gotta go let some fish loose.